That's right. Final spot right here. DRMZJOSEPH looking to continue his journey. ELMIMO looking to upset his journey. Can ELMIMO get the big victory here up against DRMZJOSEPH, or can DRMZJOSEPH get the victory here as well? Pre-bans coming out right now.
And this is not to show a lack of faith in DRMZJOSEPH, but this is to show respect to ELMIMO. He's one of the best players in the world. Really good turn 2 play here. DRMZJOSEPH is going to need to get some procs, going to need to get a lot of units down here. Takes out the Nana, because we know he's going to plan to do a lot of bursts here, because we know ELMIMO is going to try to play turn 2 with Mollies and Rileys. So DRMZJOSEPH likely going to go Masha first into some sort of Sagars and other aggressive units here.
And that first pick coming out of DRMZJOSEPH is going to be the Wusa. ELMIMO hovering over a Miles and one more unit, probably that Oliver.
I don't know if we're going to see an Oliver out of ELMIMO. We might even see a Wind Monkey, because ELMIMO likes to draft like really tanky stuff here. Goes to the Riley. Some sort of a Wind unit makes sense. I would like to see a Masha and DRMZJOSEPH at some point, but there's a Miles there, so I don't think he can run a Masha just yet. Dominic pre-ban for ELMIMO is really nice here. He does take that away, that option away from DRMZJOSEPH. DRMZJOSEPH's choosing to go with a turn 2 comp of Abelio, so he definitely wants to tangle with ELMIMO's turn 2 comp. I don't know if that's the right strategy. Takes the Ternies away from ELMIMO, so really interesting choice there.
Some extremely interesting choices. Digging into the box of ELMIMO, taking something away from him in the form of that Wind Druid. That's super interesting. ELMIMO looking to respond after seeing the double Druid coming out of DRMZJOSEPH.
Yeah, some sort of a Diana would be really effective here. Wind Monkey's really good if it's well ruined, but again, ELMIMO is not presenting very many strips on his side. Molly can maybe strip, and Miles can kind of strip, but it's not exactly the best strips out there. So Wusa is going to be really effective in this matchup here. And Tessarians also presents a lot of threat. If you get one proc off, that's probably a dead unit.
Whoa! So if Tessarian gets locked in, we're going to be seeing a Nagong going through with DRMZJOSEPH, and he does choose to lock that unit in.
Wow, full on tankiness. So it's almost like looking at a different version of ELMIMO on the other side here. We see a Nagong on the other side. I actually like DRMZJOSEPH's draft a lot more because it's so tanky and has more threat. So there's more windows of opportunity to win. If you proc on the Tessarian and then get a proc on Ternies, you're going to find a window to win. I think Molly's going to be the ban, most likely, because Molly presents the most volatility. Shizuka also is fine too, but Molly's great. It takes away a lot of heals. Tessarian is a scary unit here, so we're going to see a long back and forth match. Miles is going to be the unit that ELMIMO needs to keep alive. DRMZJOSEPH is going to try to exploit that there and take it down.
Definitely have a long match ahead of us, and Miles is going to be kicking us off to see if he's going to be the Miles that we've seen all day, and that's a consistent skill too. Not in this case right now.
And you notice that's a lot of damage from that Miles going onto that Tyranny, so that Miles hits really hard. It's a really heavy Miles. Unfortunately, there is very little synergy between a Wind Monkey and a Miles here, so ELMIMO doesn't exactly have a lot of bursts, so we're going to need to take this one out maybe 50, 60, 70 turns in order to find out who wins.
Definitely, and that's going to be a lot of turns to find out who's going to be the winner of a round 1 match. We're going to see a wild blow coming out here onto the Miles, and additional turns going to be popping up as well. Looking for a stun of the Wind Monkey, receives that stun as well with more poke damage coming towards the Miles. Additional turns popping out here. No stun is going to be dropping on top of this Wind Druid.
Yeah, this Miles hit so hard, but this Miles only at 1/3 HP left, so ELMIMO's really going to need a couple procs on the Riley and cycle some skills if he wants to keep this Miles up for a prolonged period of time.
There's that second skill going out onto the Miles. He wants to make sure that he has those strip possible stuns coming out as much as possible. Beautiful 2-turn sleep, though, coming out of Nagong.
Yeah, that's a massive 2-turn sleep there because it's going to be a lot of damage that ELMIMO's not going to be able to present. So ELMIMO's going to need to play defensive, need to save his cooldowns, and find a window of opportunity later on in the match to snipe a kill.
Yeah, wakes him up to stun him down again. And he's going to keep staying on top of that Miles to remove that unit from the field because there's technically no revive on the side of ELMIMO.
Yeah, no revive on the side of ELMIMO, and you have so many revives coming up from Tyranny from Nagong here. So DRMZJOSEPH is just going to do some poke damage, basically hit the auto button and click that Miles. It's essentially what he's going to need to do. ELMIMO's going to need to get a couple procs and string together some damage if he wants to come out.
Yeah, no procs there. He did get that defense break, which is pretty big for him, but he's not able to capitalize on any of the value. You're going to see Totem's going to be dropping here for immunity and attack buffs on the side of ELMIMO.
Yeah, and ELMIMO here is going to lay down skill 3. This might be his window of opportunity to take a kill here, but again, Nagong does have that skill 3, so ELMIMO gonna need to let this match drag on for a while before he can get enough bursts together.
So many additional turns coming out of Riley. Riley's so good, bringing so much sustain to ELMIMO's team here. We're going to see Wind Monkey potentially getting that defense break he's been ever so looking for. Can't capitalize on it and get a violent proc.
Yeah, at this point, ELMIMO is looking for a violent proc at some point. This Miles does quite a bit of damage here, but again, not enough. And it does receive a lot of damage, but it's such a tanky Miles. 8,000 damage, only taking out like 20% of his HP. So this is a really tanky Miles.
Ooh, nice little additional turn there, able to proc out of that defense break. Gets the stun on top of the Miles as well, but Riley's going to be there to cleanse up the team, heal everybody to full, and more damage coming Miles' way.
Such massive heals coming out from Riley. There is the proc that you're looking for, and even though there's no defense break, that's a lot of damage coming out from the Wind Monkey.
Definitely a lot of damage indeed. This is going to be one of the kills here, but it's going to revive back with its passive. It's going to come back one more time. Big skill too going out on the Miles, but no additional turns going to be happening here. Looking for a stun on top of the Wind Druid, not receiving it here. We do have skills available from Nigong.
We might see a counter kill onto this Miles here. If DRMZJOSEPH is able to get a proc, he might take out this Miles.
He's really trying to take out this Miles as much as possible. You're going to see a big skill too, potentially stunning up that Wind Druid, or maybe even the Water Druid there. Big damage, gets that stun on top of the Wind Druid. Oh, we've got Water Miles looking super low right now.
Yeah, but that's a very timely Soul Protect there. Does save that Miles from going down here. This is going to be a lot of damage going to Terranese. Terranese is going to go down. ELMIMO's going to go up 4 units.
Let's look at this heal up the first skill, and it is a good amount going out onto that Miles as well. There's that revive coming back, but Miles looking to shut that unit down one more time. Does get that kill. ELMIMO trying to do all he can to stop those revives from coming out.
Yeah, and as long as ELMIMO can stabilize, he's going to take this match down. I mean, that's just so much damage coming off on that Miles. That thing hits for 8,000 per shot. Probably has like 50k HP here. And that's really the reason why he's going to take this one home. DRMZJOSEPH just not enough damage to take out a Miles.
Yeah, a ton of buffs coming up here. Lots of value out of that third skill from Shizuka. Heals, of course, going to be popping up on top of that Baleo, but more heals are going to be coming out from that Riley.
And just so many buffs here. It's going to make that Miles do a lot of damage. And again, that Wind Monkey just so much damage here. And it's going to enable ELMIMO to take another kill.
Yep, he's going to be going after the Nagong to stop one of those revivers here. Not finishing it off just yet, but Wind Monkey is going to be there to do the job.
Yeah, and at this point here, 2 units for ELMIMO has this one down. DRMZJOSEPH maybe just taking his time here, thinking about how he could draft better. May not want to go turn 2 because as we see, ELMIMO is the king of turn 2 play.
A lot of damage coming out from Miles, doing so much damage to that Baleo. ELMIMO's with the Soul Protect coming back onto the Miles. Miles going to be healthy looking. In a moment here, if Riley could get another turn.
So much damage coming from that Wind Monkey here. DRMZJOSEPH not able to stand up to that.
Oof, doesn't get the kill there, and of course gets revenge stun by that Wind Monkey King. Wusa does not have that win here. We've got ELMIMO taking round 1 away from DRMZJOSEPH.
And we saw a very good draft coming out of DRMZJOSEPH. One of the, I mean, a very resilient turn 2 type draft. You saw Nigong, you saw a lot of Abelios, Terranese, a lot of fair damage going to Miles, but you saw like 8,000 damage going to the Miles, and that HP bar barely looked like it moved. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that Miles had over 50k, 45k HP. One of the heaviest Miles out there, and it did so much damage. So definitely got a lot of runes there. DRMZJOSEPH probably should lean more toward the cleave damage route than the turn 2 route, because I don't see him taking a match over ELMIMO if he's going to play like this.
We didn't even see the LD picks coming out of ELMIMO as well. You got to keep in mind that he has those in the back. He may not even need them today, but we'll see if we get to see any of them as we get into this round 2 match between ELMIMO and DRMZJOSEPH.
So I think DRMZJOSEPH is going to pre-ban the Molly or the Riley from ELMIMO. Take another turn 2 unit away from him. I think Molly probably makes the most sense. And then ELMIMO's just going to draft into like Wind Monkeys and Nanas here. Takes out the Ragdoll instead, which is really interesting. I would have thought that we would see a Molly pre-ban, given the fact that Molly just supports that team so well. So we see a Ragdoll pre-ban. DRMZJOSEPH might be changing the direction of his draft if he's taking out the Ragdoll this way.
Yep, that's interesting that we saw the ban on top of the Cardinal. I think ELMIMO was expecting to change a pace here, removing that unit from the field, and it looks like he may have guessed right. Water Ryu Moore, the first pick from DRMZJOSEPH, takes it away to bring... I don't know.
Yeah, and that makes sense here. DRMZJOSEPH changing the pace of the match. He knows that was probably his best turn 2 comp with Nagong. When you bring an LD unit, that's one of the best turn 2 LD units, and it's not enough, it's time to change the plan and stick to what you're known for, which is damage. Going with the Moore, going with the Dominic, I would like to see a Changpeng and some other form of AoE damage. Mo Long is also perfectly okay here, but he needs to lay on some pressure in his opponent. So we see that Changpeng, not sure if we're going to see the Mo Long, but it might be Changpeng Segar, or some way to do some damage. Wouldn't be opposed to seeing like a Poseidon Changpeng. And we see a Varad, which is basically the same thing. But I'm seeing a lot of AoE coming up from DRMZJOSEPH here.
Yep, DRMZJOSEPH locking in the Water Monkey King as his pick there. ELMIMO with the Masha Nana, looking to potentially bring out a little bit of aggression there to help his team gain orbs with that Nana on the field.
Yeah, so ELMIMO is gonna rely on that Wind Monkey as we saw earlier. It just does so much damage and it's so tanky here. Goes to the Leo here to reduce some of the damage from disruptive turns, but we see a Perna. We see a Perna pick here, which tells me Leo is likely not the ban here. We might see a removal of the Nana. And that's exactly what happened. See a removal of the Nana here, and DRMZJOSEPH is gonna look to snipe units off using this strong turn 1 play.
What a crazy draft here with DRMZJOSEPH and ELMIMO. Leader skills are locked in. Attack lead for DRMZJOSEPH, HP lead for ELMIMO. We've got an interesting one ahead of us, guys, as we get into this round 2 match with ELMIMO and DRMZJOSEPH.
So much aggression and interesting matches here that we see the purple screen has arrived again. So we're going to see ELMIMO gets a really lucky proc, but not able to reduce the attack bar the Moore. But unfortunately, that Moore does not strip enough units here. So DRMZJOSEPH is going to need to strip with his Changpeng, or his opener is not going to be very strong.
Well, let's see what this Dominic can do here. All the shields are up for ELMIMO's team, trying to keep his team nice and healthy. Nice little additional turn, though, looking to deal some serious damage to this Masha. Masha with defense break available. Fast Link does not land on top of the Dominic.
Very big miss of the defense break. That would have been a dead Dominic if he landed that, but unfortunately not landing that there. And that's a giant proc on that Water Monkey.
Yeah, really big proc there. Able to dismount the Masha. Stun also landing on top of that Masha as well. And we've got this Wind Monkey King trying to do all he can to remove this Dominic from the field. Dominic is still alive, though.
Yeah, he needs to stun this Leo. Does not stun the Leo. Leo's going to go in and attack that Dominic. Dominic goes down here. ELMIMO just looks so good here. DRMZJOSEPH does not have enough damage to take out another unit of ELMIMO's after this Masha goes down.
Water Ryu trying to land a nice little skill 2 on top of that Water Monkey King. Serious Matter is going to be coming out, reducing the attack bar. Getting a Despair Stun on top of that Wind Monkey King as well, though.
And that's a really tanky Masha there. Really required every single attack of the Water Monkey to take it down. So interesting to note for later matches here. ELMIMO is just going to tunnel this Changpeng, and when the opportunity presents, go after this Water Monkey.
Definitely a nice little additional turn on top of that Wusa. Wusa's able to get that skill 2 up next turn. We're going to see All or Nothing coming out, getting the stun on top of the Wusa as well. We're going to see probably that second skill looking to push back attack bar, getting a little bit of additional damage out onto the field there. Leo with a big torrent going right into the Changpeng. Additional turns coming out from this Wind Monkey King. Lands the stun!
That's a massive proc on that Wind Monkey. It's going to do a lot of damage. And again, DRMZJOSEPH does not have enough damage to take this one home. ELMIMO's going to take this 2-0. So much damage coming out from this Wind Monkey and this Leo.
Yeah, a ton of damage there. There you have it. ELMIMO with round 2 victory over DRMZJOSEPH.
Again, turn 2 play coming up from ELMIMO. Really hard to break that. His team was just so resilient with the Leo. That Wind Monkey did so much damage. It's hard to emphasize how much damage that did. Once these big hits come in, it's really hard to defend for units to survive. I mean, it took 3 hits to take out that Dominic. DRMZJOSEPH really needed to find an opportunity to take out more than one unit. Of course, missing that defense break was huge, but like at the end of the day, DRMZJOSEPH wasn't able to bring in enough damage to get through ELMIMO's defenses.
Now, ELMIMO's defenses are huge. His units are ruined up so well. I feel like if this was anybody else that DRMZJOSEPH was going after, it probably wouldn't have been. It would have been a little bit easier, maybe even siding with DRMZJOSEPH a little bit. But the runes of ELMIMO are so powerful, and all of his units, everything's built just so tanky.
Yeah, I mean, you even notice on that Masha there, it took every single one of Water Monkey's hits to be able to take out that Masha, and that was after it was dismounted. So that just tells you how tanky ELMIMO's Masha is. And then you have that Wind Monkey. I mean, obviously procced a couple times, but just so much damage. So ELMIMO is just able to handle whatever DRMZJOSEPH throws at him. If I'm DRMZJOSEPH, I mean, it's pretty tough to figure out what you can do here, but I think DRMZJOSEPH just needs to stick to his turn 1 play and try to find a way to take out some units of ELMIMO's.
Yeah, most definitely. Shizuka and the Dominic are going to get the pre-bans here as we get into this round 3. This could be game and match for ELMIMO, or can DRMZJOSEPH hold on for one more match?
And we see the Wusa take from DRMZJOSEPH trying to dissuade the Masha pick. So we might see a repeat of game 1 here, which is very interesting. We don't see that. We see the Fire Bison coming out from DRMZJOSEPH. I like that pick there, but I'm not sure I like it into Miles. I like the thought of trying to establish some control here, but I don't think that that Carnal is going to do enough into ELMIMO's team.
Ooh, he was hovering over the Abelio, takes the Abelio back, brings back the Masha to DRMZJOSEPH's team. ELMIMO looking to respond to the double fire units, taking that Abelio himself along with that Ragdoll.
I think ELMIMO is going to finish off with a Molly here. It's probably what he's going to do and just look to survive. I mean, we've seen how tanky that Miles, that Abelio is. That Ragdoll's also tanky and hits really hard, having faced it many times in the past. So ELMIMO's in a really good spot here. DRMZJOSEPH needs to triple down on damage, but it's really hard to get through the burst of an Abelio, especially one like ELMIMO's. And he lays down a Vanessa Diana, which I'm not sure about. And we see a Rakan lay down. This is the first time I've seen a Rakan in SWC. Really exciting pick here. That tells me that we're going to see a Vanessa in play. Vanessa's going to be probably the first unit of DRMZJOSEPH's to go down, and I think ELMIMO's going to look to expose that and just tunnel into that Vanessa.
That is fantastic. We're actually seeing the Rakan coming through here. Diana Vanessa wrapping up DRMZJOSEPH's draft. A very exciting match, which could be the winning match for ELMIMO, but DRMZJOSEPH needs to hold on as we get into the bans here. Vanessa and Riley are going to be the bans.
Interesting chooses to take out the Vanessa instead, so he's probably reading into the speeds of it and decides not to do that, but I thought Vanessa would be a little bit weak here. But again, we'll see if DRMZJOSEPH is able to get enough damage and burst through the Abelio's healing and pass it there.
Let's see what happens as we've got Masha kicking things off right here. Going for a fast lick on top of the Ragdoll.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage that Masha just did here. So DRMZJOSEPH is looking to find a way to get his Diana on board to take out this Ragdoll, but I don't think he's going to be able to do so. He's going to use skill 2 to do a lot of damage on the Ragdoll, but again, trips off the passive of Abelio. Abelio is going to be able to heal up and push the attack bars of ELMIMO's team up.
Definitely, there's that beautiful heal here. We're going to see that second skill going into third skill, potentially going out onto the Diana to lock that unit down. Goes after the Masha, does land that provoke.
Yeah, it does not go after the Diana, so ELMIMO's content to let his Ragdoll go down and let his Rakan do a lot of damage and basically try to take out a unit on the back foot.
Well, let's see what happens here. ELMIMO's trying to get rid of that Masha, try to dismount it as soon as possible, trying to get a little bit of value with a stun landing on top of Abelio, but Abelio's not going to care too much. Wild Blow comes out, dismounts the Masha.
Yeah, I'm not sure about ELMIMO deciding to give up his Ragdoll there. I really thought that Rakan should have gone and taunted up that Diana here. So now DRMZJOSEPH has a Diana that's basically going to be able to roam free and do a lot of damage. So I actually really like DRMZJOSEPH's position here as long as he can keep that Carnal alive.
Oh, there's that stun going out onto the Miles. DRMZJOSEPH finally finding some momentum right now. He's going to drop the Miles here with that second skill. Doesn't drop the Miles just yet.
Gets a massive stun onto a Diana. Water stunning win here, so really lucky for ELMIMO here. He does need to capitalize, but of course that Diana does proc.
A wonderful proc indeed, able to finish off that Miles here, but we've got Rakan able to finish off that Masha. It is just the Rakan and Abelio. This could still win the match for ELMIMO, though. It's not over.
Definitely not over here, but ELMIMO does need to lock down that Diana. That Diana does so much damage, so ELMIMO needs to taunt up that Diana, needs to provoke it as he should have done earlier here.
Yep, there's the shields up to make sure his team is going to be staying alive here. Let's see if there's an additional turn popping out here, not popping out here. Big skill 2 can go out on anybody. It looks like the unit of focus is going to stay on top of that Rakan. Wusa, no additional turns popping out. Third skill is going to come here. Does he get the stun on top of the Abelio?
Does trip off the passive here though, so Abelio is going to be able to push the Rakan up in front of the Wusa here. The Rakan's going to need to provoke the Wusa if ELMIMO wants a chance to win this one.
Does provoke that Wusa indeed. Looking for that stun. I'm sorry, goes for the wild blow on top of the Kano. Not receiving it though. We do have provoke available. Goes for the provoke on top of the Kano.
Yeah, and that Rakan's gonna need to collapse back a lot more, but has not been able to do so here. And these shields are gonna be massive here. It's gonna make it a lot harder for ELMIMO to take out another unit.
Definitely some big shields indeed. Diana is able to cycle here. Choose to go for a stun or choose to go for it. Decides to transform. Gonna see a skill 2. Cycle lit up attack bar. Going after the Rakan as well.
Interesting choice to go after the Rakan. And that proc from the Abelio, very huge, allows that Rakan to get more HP.
Definitely. Here's that first skill. Choosing to go after the Cardinal and not the Diana that's in human form, but trying to remove Cardinal from the field is the ideal move right now.
Trying to just take units off the field here. If ELMIMO can take that Cardinal out, he might have a chance here, but again, Belio does not provide enough healing. This Rakan might actually go down if DRMZJOSEPH can string together some procs.
Here comes the shields. The shields are up. The shields are standing on top of that Cardinal. There's a couple additional turns there. Abelio is going to drop that Cardinal here. It is just a Rakan and Abelio keeping ELMIMO alive, and it doesn't matter. Diana finishes it off here, and DRMZJOSEPH is definitely going to get that victory here because Diana's going to pump out way too much damage.
Diana's going to do so much damage into this ability. I know ELMIMO has great units here, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Might be able to skill 3 into skill 2 and do a lot of damage on the Diana, but does get stunned up, so ELMIMO's not going to be able to come back from this one.
That's that big stun right there. Doesn't even have to transform and finishes him off right there. DRMZJOSEPH responds with a round 3 victory.
So DRMZJOSEPH saves this one from being a 3-0 here, able to get a proc on Diana. But I think it comes down to the pivotal moment here was that interesting choice where, and I say interesting, where ELMIMO basically decided to let his Ragdoll die. When he chose to let that Rakan, didn't strip the Diana, and I think he went after different units, and I think he should have gone after the Diana to prevent it from going on to the Ragdoll. I think that's what would have helped him get more turns over time, but instead he just was content to lose that Ragdoll. And over time, ELMIMO just didn't have enough damage to be able to seal the deal there.
Yep, most definitely. I couldn't agree more with you with that opportunity. If he had gone for that collapse onto the Diana, we could have seen a different result of that match.
Yeah, so we go into the next match here. I think ELMIMO just needs to stay with the standard picks there. I'm not sure about the Rakan. The Rakan is a fun unit to play with, but it doesn't present a defense break. It doesn't present enough burst. And when you don't collapse the right unit, you end up not using it effectively. So I don't know if ELMIMO should be drafting Rakan in this situation here. Should just fall back on the classic Molly play that he's done. He does get the Wusa, which is a pretty big unit in this matchup here. So I like ELMIMO's position and what's about to unfold.
Well, let's see what happens. Wusa taken by ELMIMO, something DRMZJOSEPH was drafting a lot of. Dominic and Abelio hovering over right now with DRMZJOSEPH.
I think we're going to see a Masha take from ELMIMO at some point. But he doesn't decide to do that. He goes with the Nana and the Wind Monkey, which is also fine as well. DRMZJOSEPH quickly going for the Tessarion, and we saw ELMIMO ban that out earlier, so we might see ELMIMO ban out that Tessarion. I mean, Tessarion, and we're going to look to see DRMZJOSEPH ban out the Wusa. When you lay down a Tessarion here, you're angling to ban out the Wusa, but he also has a Swift Sagar here to go in and reset the Wusa. So ELMIMO going with the quick Masha Rakan.
Yeah, Masha Rakan for ELMIMO, the Rakan making a second appearance for ELMIMO. It's so interesting to see units like this, but also kind of feels expected. It's just another tanky unit, and ELMIMO really, really likes that style of play.
So I think ELMIMO's angling to take out the Sagar or the Abelio here. DRMZJOSEPH going with the Moor, so we're going to see a quicker game here. ELMIMO's definitely going to leave the Tessarion through. When you lay down 2 immunity, self-providing immunity units like that, you're going to leave the Tessarion in here. So we'll see if ELMIMO's going to be able to show us that Rakan can take another game here. But DRMZJOSEPH looks to have a very aggressive comp with that Dominic.
Let's see. It's game 4, guys. ELMIMO, DRMZJOSEPH. We've got the Wind and Bison. Look for that reset provoke on top of the Wusa.
Yeah, and if he gets a proc here, he might be able to take a unit off the bat here. Does not get a proc. This is going to be a lot of damage coming out from this Masha. Gets
that defense break on top of that Dominic. Dominic almost at 50% right now. Wind Monkey King looking to capitalize off that defense break.
Yeah, no, ELMIMO looking at the attack bars to see if he should do this. And Wind Monkey King gets a massive proc.
Massive proc there. Not able to finish off that Dominic. Of course, Abelio is going to be healing up his team, getting no provokes on anyone else.
Getting no provokes here, and the Oblivion lands. This Wind Monkey's not going to do as much here. Massive proc from the Tessarion.
Massive proc indeed. Almost finishing off that Wind Monkey King with the Oblivion. That unit's not as tanky as it should be. Rakan's able to finish off that Dominic there. Soul Crusher with the second skill coming out of Wind and Bison there, destroying that Wind Monkey King.
And we don't see these revenge collapses back, so a little bit unlucky for ELMIMO here. I think ELMIMO needs to taunt up and provoke as many units as possible with that skill 3 there, but unfortunately not able to get that. So DRMZJOSEPH is going to be able to lay in a lot of damage and dismount this Masha at some point.
ELMIMO looking for some big damage on top of that Wind and Bison. Does get the defense break. It's looking like it's going to get dropped very soon. But nice stun's going to go out onto the Woo, so we get the dismount on top of the Masha as well. No additional turns are going to be popping out here. Big skill 2 is going on top of the Rakan. Rakan looking to capitalize off that defense break. Masha finishing off the Wind and Bison. No, choosing not to finish off the Wind and Bison yet.
Yeah, ELMIMO reading the attack bars and being very judicious about which units go in front, and actually thinks that the Dot's going to take out the Wind Bison there. So takes out the Wind Bison here, and we see the Masha go down, so it's basically 2 units to 2 here, but there's no defense break on ELMIMO's side here, and a lot of healing on DRMZJOSEPH's.
Definitely a lot of healing on DRMZJOSEPH's side of the field. This match is definitely not over for either one of these players. The boat gets cleansed with the Abelio, and we've got third skill coming up. Wish of Immortality is going to be affecting ELMIMO's team.
Yeah, now ELMIMO here needs to taunt up the Abelio at some point while it's in Druid form, while it's in Beast form, but unfortunately not able to do so. Not able to get that window here, and now ELMIMO is going to be facing a lot of damage from this Tasarian.
Definitely going to be facing a lot of damage there. Nice little additional turn here. Goes for the triple crush anyways to just provide more damage. Almost dropping the Rakan. Has to go for skill 2 to heal up his Rakan just a little bit. Abelio might be applying enough damage here.
Yeah, ELMIMO's in a rough spot here. That Rakan's not going to survive this next shot here. And ELMIMO looks like he's going to be going down on this match here. It's going to be 2-2 here. This Tasarian just does so much damage.
Yeah, there's that wild blow going out onto the Rusa. I don't see Rusa finishing off this match here. ELMIMO taking his time, though, thinking about the next match already. Skill 2 goes out on top of the Abelio. Abelio's going to have all the heals in the world. Don't see ELMIMO coming back here.
Yeah, now ELMIMO's window that in his mind is probably to sleep the Abelio and then go after the Tasarian, but again, that window's really thin here, and I don't think he's going to get that. It's a lot of damage coming out from the Abelio over time, and that heal is just too much to handle.
It really is. No stuns going to be coming out here. Looking for the triple crush, lands that defense break. Does have shields he can throw up, goes for the skill 2. The additional turn does pop up. He's going to protect his Wusa with shields and immunity.
That is a really big proc there. It allows him to shake off defense break. So ELMIMO might find his window if he can sleep a unit here. But Abelio, of course, does have its third skill up. Able to get his team to full HP here. ELMIMO should be looking for the quit button.
And there you have it. DRMZJOSEPH taking round 4. We're going into a game 5 with ELMIMO and DRMZJOSEPH.
Lot of back and forth there, and I think that one comes down to Rakan not getting those provokes. When it collapses units and they attack back, it has a chance to collapse back and provoke them, and we didn't see very many of those. That's the whole point of bringing Rakan, is to be able to control the team there. So I think ELMIMO maybe should have thought about maybe relying on, as much as I hate this unit, Molly, right, or some more passive units to allow his units to stay alive a little bit longer. I don't think the Rakan has been very effective so far, and so ELMIMO maybe should think about putting it into storage after this and never bringing it out again, and then using the rest of his units that we've seen be successful and riding them to victory.
Definitely, I couldn't agree more with you. There's so many things that ELMIMO has in store that he hasn't shown here with DRMZJOSEPH, and I think he needs to bring out something that DRMZJOSEPH's not ready for if ELMIMO thinks he can take this victory here.
Yeah, and so far I think, go back to the other matches here. I wonder where that threat, that damage over time, that Miles, that Wind Monkey came from ELMIMO. I haven't seen that Miles damage yet, and I think, if you look toward the statting of that, it was just so heavy. DRMZJOSEPH just had such a hard time dealing with that unit, so would have liked to see that at some point in this matchup. So we'll see if ELMIMO decides to rely on those units a bit more.
Yep, there's the Wusa being drafted by DRMZJOSEPH, and we've got Riley, and of course that water, the Miles.
Yeah, as I thought, I think ELMIMO has realized he's going to need this Miles. If he wants to win here, I don't think he should be drafting Rakan, especially when there's 2 water units on the field. I think we're going to see a Wind Monkey at some point. Goes with the Ragdoll Nana. Makes a lot of sense here. Ragdoll, we've seen that unit go down, so if DRMZJOSEPH has some defense breaks and can burst that Ragdoll down, he might be able to find a win here.
Ooh, seeing the Tasarian once again coming out of DRMZJOSEPH and the Molly taking this unit away from ELMIMO. I don't think he was going to be wrapping up his draft with the Molly, but we'll see what happens with ELMIMO's last pick here.
I really like the resilience of DRMZJOSEPH's comp here. Like, taking that Molly from ELMIMO means that ELMIMO can't rely on that unit. And also that Tasarian, just as you've seen, just does so much damage here. ELMIMO's main damage dealer here is Miles, and the Ragdoll occasionally will get a shot off. But there's just so much healing coming out from the side of DRMZJOSEPH. It's going to be a little tough for ELMIMO to string together a team to be able to fight that.
Very interesting. To go with the Kinky is the very last pick for ELMIMO. Is he signaling the ban on Tasarian? And he is.
Interesting choice of the Kinky. Obviously means that he's not afraid of that molly there. Kinky just doesn't need to crit there. But we're going to see if ELMIMO is going to be able to string together a win. He does not have sustain on his side of the field here. So DRMZJOSEPH, all he needs to do is hang on.
Yep, that's it. He's got a ton of sustain on his side of the field. Looking for that skill 2 strip stun onto the Wusa, not receiving it.
Not receiving it there. Definitely way lower than 50% chance, especially when there's a molly and especially when there's Res check going on. ELMIMO does not have a strip on his side of the field here, so DRMZJOSEPH is in a really good spot here. Just need to get some damage on and take a unit out of ELMIMO's.
A very good spot here for DRMZJOSEPH indeed. He's going to go and just try to put all of his damage into the Carnal. Carnal being the biggest damage threat coming from DRMZJOSEPH.
And Carnal has amazing minus fire artifacts. You saw that Miles that previously did 8,000 does like maybe 3,000 in this situation here. That Nana basically did nothing as well. So DRMZJOSEPH coming very well prepared to this matchup here. We'll see how much damage his Kinky does.
A violent Kinky, not a despair one, looking for defense breaks to help his Ragdoll deal some damage here and not getting any of those defense breaks. Big skill 2 is available, and he's going to stay on top of that Carnal. Does get the stun this time, though.
Very hard to describe how big of a miss that was not to get a single defense break on that Kinky. There really is not much of a window for ELMIMO to take this. ELMIMO needs to start downing units to get stacks on that Nana because DRMZJOSEPH is presenting a lot of threat on his side of the field over time.
He's able to get that kill on top of the Carnal. ELMIMO does get another stack on top of his Nana. Nana's going to revive back. One orb still available here.
One orb still available here, and ELMIMO does have that. Miles does have that Kinky and Ragdoll, so he's going to be able to lay in a lot of damage here. And DRMZJOSEPH just needs to find a window to be able to take out that Nana 2 times.
The violent procs are coming through. Big skill 2 gets that stun, and another despair stun on top of this Wusa. Wusa with defense break right now.
Yeah, and that's a big heal coming out from Abelio here. And this Molly does have bubble, should use it on the Wusa to shake off the defense break. But again, so much damage coming out from this Miles, and ELMIMO's pivoting to this Abelio, just looking to take out another unit.
Yep, there goes Nana. Nana's going to drop down there. No orbs are going to be available now. An additional turn's going to be popping out. You can throw up shields and immunity to help protect his team here. ELMIMO is going to continue going after that Abelio, I think.
Yeah, this Kinky's not really effective in this matchup here. He doesn't really have had the opportunity to land a defense break, so kind of tough for ELMIMO to get another unit down here. He's chosen to go after the Abelio, and so that's exactly what ELMIMO needs to do if he wants to take out the damage from DRMZJOSEPH.
Yep, he's able to get a 2-turn defense break sitting on top of that Water Druid. Nice 2-turn sleep going out onto the Ragdoll. Really going to halt ELMIMO's damage there, trying to take advantage of all these defense breaks that are landing on top of this Abelio.
That's an absolutely massive sleep coming off on that Wusa. If that sleep had not gone off, that Ragdoll would have been able to do a lot of damage, and Kinky would have finished off that Abelio. So that is potentially a game-winning sleep there. DRMZJOSEPH is hanging on with the healing units, and ELMIMO needs to find a way to take a unit out.
Oh, that's a big additional turn there. Lands that stun, has that defense break on top of the Abelio. Goes for the attack bar pushback on top of the Wusa. There's the violent proc. Wild Blow is going to come out, looking to get rid of this Miles. Miles is going to be holding on.
So many procs and sleeps coming out from the side of DRMZJOSEPH, really using that RNG to his advantage here. Kind of tough for ELMIMO to find a way back here, especially when there's healing going on Abelio's side. ELMIMO does not have enough burst, does not have sustain to be able to hang in this match much longer.
DRMZJOSEPH looking for the Wild Blow, finishes off that Miles. There's no longer a strip on the side of ELMIMO. When these shields of immunity come up, DRMZJOSEPH's going to get really, really comfortable.
Yeah, and this Ragdoll is going to need to do a lot of damage to take out this Abelio here. That's ELMIMO's chance of victory.
Whew, ton of damage with shields up there, but nice little stun going out onto the Ragdoll. Big second skill is going to go out onto Ragdoll as well. We're going to see ELMIMO still going into this Abelio.
But again, so much healing from DRMZJOSEPH's side here. It's not a way for ELMIMO to find a way to win here. So ELMIMO's desperately trying to find a kill here, but Abelio keeps getting picked up. That passive keeps getting triggered, and it's really tough for ELMIMO to find a window of opportunity.
Big additional turn right there. Could have used it to finish off the Ragdoll, but that doesn't matter. Woos is going to be right there. It is just the Kinky looking to try and do all that he can for ELMIMO.
So we'll see if we find a Kinky solo. Kinky needs to not get stunned up here. If Kinky gets stunned, this match is instantly over.
The defense break landing on top of the Molly. There's that revenge going back onto the Molly as well. Two-turn sleep's not going to be happening here. A lot of damage coming out. Here comes the second skill, able to drop the Molly from the field.
Wow, so much damage here. And when we think back to Guild Wars, we kind of wish this Kinky was on Destroy here. That's so much damage coming out from Kinky. ELMIMO hanging on here, able to drain life, but needs to find enough damage to take out this Abelio.
Ooh, big skill 2, dealing a ton of damage. He needed the initial turn, not receiving it there. Here comes the cure. He's going to heal up his team. We've got Kinky looking a little low right now. Goes for a skill 2. There's the revenge. Breaks the shield. That's definitely not going to be enough here. If that skill 2 goes off, that's going to be it. There's the violent proc, and DRMZJOSEPH takes down ELMIMO in round 5 to secure his victory and moving forward to America's Cup.